Good evening. My new hat. I think we have some disturbing problems, not only in the United States, but globally, with race issues. I think race is used to justify, or being races use their actions to justify doing very psychotic stuff that causes more harm and damage to the community. And it also helps to keep stagnated. It keeps you I guess we do need some form of racism, so we have a good reason to go to war. You know, like to have some bias against the middle people from the Middle East. And I guess they just killed somebody, and I guess like they're like on the news, they're like, well, we already replaced them. It's been the history of war that is way some people moved up in historically in their ranks sometimes, like with the Romans but especially and the Egyptians especially. So they always had a history. Yes, that is what happens. And the problem is the way we do and I think racism helps you to be to have somebody blame for situations that we could probably handle. Like here in Memphis, it's very racist and it's notorious for being racist and ignorance, and I'm beginning to think it's totally by design to keep the people oppressed, to keep money diverted away from them. And I was going to use like today in the city hall. They couldn't come up with the budget. The city hall couldn't come up with any answers. The mayor couldn't come up with any answers. And they went ahead and like started giving out money willy-nilly. The only thing is, it's like let's take the police department for instance. They had got all these new Dodges a few years back, and then they find out that they had been paying for their health, and they had been nobody's had paid for their retirement. They siphon it out, and like a lot of the problem is that because of racism, you want to keep up a certain image. You want to have to look a certain way, even so like they had to have all these new Dodges, which I think they got ripped off. I'm not into that sports look type of car anyway. And it's 4-cylinder, I believe. What is this? But anyway, I understand. And but it's a way to keep you distracted from the real issues. It's a way to think that if I would just like with black people, if I would just walk this way or talk this way, and not realizing that the most accents that we call white accents were Europeans that came over here, like I think and we accept their accents, but we won't accept our own. But a lot of like so-called, I think, white accents or Europeans, because and I think that when I in New Orleans is like some of the people that were Creole, and I guess it's like a pig Latin, little French there or whatever it is. They're criticized for, and I think a lot of it is so that we will lose more of our native culture, that we will be more acceptable to criticism or to criticize others so they won't criticize us. And I think that it's going to be the downfall of our United States. You can see how the Republicans act with President Obama. How they didn't want to cooperate in the Senate, or neither one of them. They didn't. Neither houses did they cooperate. They didn't vote on issues, and the issues that they have passed is going to do, or has done more harm than it do good. You know, like with Obamacare. You know, they rather. We have an epidemic of diabetes. We have AIDS. We have cancer. You know, we have really bad in our community. We have different viruses coming around that causes like the Mars virus now, and the other virus that we had that came out of Africa. We have all these different medical problems and diseases that need to be addressed, and so the Republicans were against that. So the real issues that need to be addressed, once you go ahead and insert racism in it, they could be put on the back burner. You know, you could get diverted into issues that are just putting a band-aid on the problem. You can look at the problem we have with the police going around really not honoring, to me, their obligation to serve and protect the community by all the deaths of black youths, of them you know, not actually doing their job proper and getting the right people in the jail, by them like thinking, like here in Memphis, the chief of police was saying, you know, we're the gang here. You know, like they're not dealing with the reality of the issue, which is why do you have these youth gangs? It's not because they're bad people. It's because we have bad political and we have bad laws. And you know, when they say that the United States was bringing cocaine up out of South America through the CIA into the ghetto, it is true. Cocaine is here. We have laws. I think the marijuana law is more harmful, just as it was proven in the 20s that the prohibition against alcohol was bad. So we already know these things, but if you put a racial twist in it, right, you know, it's like, oh, well, he's got his pants flagging, and, you know, it's just because, you know, look at the black youth, they're all thugs. Then you don't have to fix nothing. You don't have to fix anything. You know, matter of fact, you can make it even worse. That's what happened with Detroit. You know, open your eyes. You know, racism is here to destroy America at its base. You know, that we have people that are in charge of corporations, and you know, we have Congress and we have our Supreme Court giving corporations the same rights as a human being. And we have human beings that are being denied our civil and constitutional rights. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on racism. Racism is here to divide, separate, and to cipher the money out of that community.